So assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to make another project which is a medical data validator workshop. So let's get started. So here we will validate a set of medical data to ensure it is with complying with a set of rules. So first of all we have to declare a variable which is medical records and assign it empty list, and yes, okay, so medical records. So now we are on step number 2, in which we have to create a dictionary to store data structure that holds key value pairs, where keys are immutable data types such as strings and unique within a dictionary. Okay, it is a rule for dictionary that its keys are unique and of immutable data type. So medical records list will store dictionaries, each of them representing a patient. Okay, add a dictionary with a key. Okay, we have to add a dictionary with a key patient. Okay, now also we have to add another key here, which is age colon, and assign it an integer value which is 30. And for that we have to add a comma after the first key value pair, and yes, it is written here. And also add another key value pair which is gender colon female. Okay, we are on step number 4. We have to complete the dictionary by adding 3 more key value pairs. So let's add them. Okay, where are the errors coming from? Diagnosis. Okay, I forgot a comma. Okay, we are now on our step number 5. Okay, so after we made the dictionary for a single patient in the record list, they have already given us other dictionaries for more of the patients, so they are encouraging us to take a look at them. So only their values are changed, and the structure is what we say mostly same. So now we can go further. We have to write a function, create a function named validate with a single parameter data, and we want to ensure that data is either a list or a tuple. Declare a variable is sequence. Okay, so what we are doing now, we have created a new variable in which we have called the isInstance function, in which we are checking that whether the parameter data is either one of the 2 types that are listed as the second argument in our isInstance function. So here we have our tuple where there are 2 values and the data variable is checked against those types. So if the data is of either of the type, isInstance will return true. Okay, we can now go further. Okay, so step number 6, we have to create an if statement for its condition use the not operator to negate is sequence. Not is sequence. Is sequence. Within the if statement, print invalid format expected a list or tuple and return false. Okay, so what we are doing now, this if block will only execute when the if sequence is false. So when if sequence is false, when data is neither of the type list nor the tuple. So and thus if sequence will be false, and when if sequence will be false, this if this condition will become true, and this will be executed that invalid format, not a tuple or a list, and we will return false. Now we can move on. You should okay. F will be capital. Okay, so right after if statement, declare a variable called is invalid. Declare a variable named is invalid. So we are doing all of this in our validate function. Is invalid and set it to false. Later on, okay, we will use it later. So step number 8, we are going to use enumerate function to keep track of the index of the loop elements. We have to create a for loop. For loop to iterate our data, use enumerate function to get the both index and data. Use index and dictionary as iteration variable. So okay, we have to use index and dictionary in enumerate data. So now we will just give it pass to fill the loop body for now. So what is data? Data will be this list of multiple dictionaries. So now we will pass it to enumerate. It will return a tuple in which the first element will be the index of each of the dictionary in the list, and second will be the dictionary itself. So we are unpacking both values of the tuple in these two loop variables. Step number 9. So now we have to check whether each item in the sequence, either tuple or a list, is a dictionary or not. This one. So we have to check whether the second element in our data or the list that we are getting has dictionaries as its elements or not. So we are checking that in our for loop. Inside your for loop, if the item if dictionary, okay, if is instance dictionary is not an instance of dict. So dict is a data structure or a data type, we can say. So if the dictionary from our list, and this dictionary represents a specific list at a specific iteration of the for loop, so we are checking whether that dictionary is the instance of the dict in Python. If yes, then this will become true and this if block will execute. Is not an instance, so we so there is a condition that if the item dictionary is not the instance of dict, we have to print invalid format. So we have to focus on this not. So this if block will only execute when the dictionary is not an instance of dict, so we have to write not. So now we have to print and index should be replaced, where index should be replaced by the current index and set invalid to true. Okay, so we have to write the index here, and in this if condition we also have to set the is invalid to true. Okay, invalid format expected are dictionary at position index. Okay, if we write index and then click it, no, inside your if statement. So we are already doing that. What is the problem here? Okay. No, what is the problem here? Am I writing this wrong? Yeah, I think if I put a dot after that, no, it's still wrong. Why it's not getting right? And a dot. So we are in our if statement. If format expected a dictionary at position. What if I copy paste this? Okay, it is correct. Is invalid. So do we have to write an F as string? I think index. Yeah, so the error was just using the F string to print our variable. Okay, so step number 10. After your for loop, still inside the validate function, create an if statement. This is the for loop. After this for loop, we have to write another if statement. If is invalid is true. If is invalid is true, then we have to return false. If is invalid is true, then this if condition will be executed, and then we have to return false. After this statement, print the string, print valid format, and then we have to return true. At the bottom of your code, call the validate function. At the bottom of your code, okay. So here we will call our validate function with medical records as the argument. You should see valid format. Okay, we are seeing it. So now step number 13, to test the first if statement of your function, turn medical elements into a string. Okay, medical elements into a string. So here we will replace these square brackets with what we say, double quotes, to mimic a string. Okay, if I just give it empty string, and left indent all of this. So yeah, so these are independent dictionaries with not any specific variable names. So now our medical records is an empty list, just for checking the first if statement where it is. Yes, so in valid format expected a tuple or a list. Okay, we can move on now. Okay, we have to use triple double quotes for multi-line strings. Okay, now turn medical records back to list tuple of dictionaries. Okay, we have to remove these quotes. Okay, step number 15. To test the second conditional statement, add two items of your choice that are not dictionaries at the end of medical record. You should see two validation messages print to the terminal. Okay, add two items of your choice that are not dictionaries. Name equals to empty string and age like 10, 12. Okay, indent this and okay, we don't have to, we are in our list, so we don't have to declare a variable, we have to assign it a value. Okay, like 12 and a string here like Ali. So now we can see that there are two messages on position number 4 and position number 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and 6. So index is starting from 1. So this is 4 and this is 5. So step number 16, remove the last two elements. Okay. Step number 17, set is an ordered collection of unique elements. Set to use set to ensure that each dictionary does not contain extra or misspelled keys. Inside the validate function, we have to use this list constructor. Assign the set to a variable key set, key underscore set, and we have to assign it set and a list of these keys that a dictionary must have. And set constructor will construct the set of the individual elements of the list. So now we have to use dot keys for dictionary. Inside the for loop after the if statement, create an if statement that runs when the set of the keys from the current dictionary is different. Okay, inside the for loop after the first if, we have to write another if. Let's write another line. Okay, if statement create a statement that runs when the set of keys from the current dictionary if dictionary if okay, so that runs when the set of the keys from the current dictionary is different from key set. Okay, so set from the current dictionary keys is not equal to key set, then we will print that invalid format in this dictionary at this index there are missing or invalid keys, and we have to replace it with curly braces to show the values of the variables. Okay, what is happening? And make this an F string. And set is invalid to true again. Is invalid to true again. Okay, test that everything is working correctly. Try to comment out the H key from the, so if we comment this out, we should get an error that in this dictionary as at the index 0 the dash key is missing, or a key is missing. Not, it will not specify which key. Yeah, invalid format. It written under dictionary at point 0, its index is 0 and has missing or invalid keys. Now restore. Okay, we have to restore it. So we are halfway through our workshop. Now you are going to make validation more granular and create a function named find invalid records. So okay, before this validate function we are creating another function, find invalid record, in which we will specify which key is invalid or missing. I think find invalid key, give it the following parameters. Okay, I am not going to write all of this down, I'll just copy paste it. So these are just the keys in our dictionaries in medical records list. So inside the function create an empty dictionary named constraints, then return constraints from new function. Return constraints find invalid records. Okay, find invalid records. Find invalid records. Okay, S is missing. So now double star operators can be used to unpack the elements in a dictionary and pass them as keyword arguments in a function. Okay, so here we have a dictionary nums in which we have 3 key value pairs, and double star num unpacks the values. Okay, unpacks the element that in a dictionary and pass them as keyword arguments in a function call. 4 6. Okay, what it does, it takes the values, it takes all the values from the key value pairs of a dictionary and passes all of them to a function call. Okay, yeah, we can see that this sum double star nums is equivalent to this function call where we are assigning, or what we say, giving arguments to a function call. At the bottom of our code, print the result of calling. Bottom of our code, find invalid records and we have to pass our dictionary list, which is we have to pass our dictionary. So we cannot directly give it medical records because it is not a dictionary, it is a list. So at its multiple indexes there are dictionaries, so we can access them using the bracket notation. Medical records at the index 0 we have one dictionary. Okay, double star, okay. What is wrong here? You should print. Okay, we have to print that on the screen. So we have to wrap it in the print function. Yeah. So step number 23 in our constraints dictionary, which is in our find invalid records. This dictionary will contain each key you should expect to have in data to validate. The value associated to each item of them will indicate the result of validation. The value associated to each of them will indicate the result of validation. Okay. Add the key patient ID to the constraints. Add the key patient ID to constraints. For its value, use a call to is instance, passing it patient ID and str as its arguments. Okay. So yes, what is wrong here? Okay, we are checking whether the passed patient ID is has the value of string or not, and the boolean value will be set accordingly. But why we are getting an error? Is instance patient ID str patient, okay, t and t. Your constraint dictionary should have a key with a value. So this is a key and that is its value. So why we are I'm not getting any errors, but I'm getting errors here. What is wrong here? Let's ask this. Does not have constraint dictionary. Constraints. I have constraint dictionary containing a patient ID key. I've already put that in my code. What is wrong here? Use a call to instance passing in patient ID and str as the arguments. I cannot tell what are the errors here. I've already checked it a lot. Okay. We have to write this as a string, I think. Yeah, so we have to add it like this. But still I am wondering why that we have to put it like this, even if the values given to us from this medical records. Okay. So here we are only giving the values, not the keys from this function call, because we are using double star unpacking values. So here we will only get the value in our patient ID, which we are using here in our is instance, and we have to put that in double quotes to set it as a string, as a key. Okay, so patient ID should be a string. We want to check that it is also has a specific pattern, so for that we are going to use a regular expression. Therefore, at the top of your code, use the import keyword to import re. Okay, so if you have checked, okay, what happened here? Okay, if you have checked we have to import the regular expression module.